everyone, today I want to talk about my growing light. Most of you are asking my comments to show my growing light, which kind of light I use. Before I was not using growing light. I never used growing light and I grow my plants in different rooms, which where I have windows, and in this room I have only in this room I have large window, and I used to grow my plants in this room. And here, as you see, I have lots of plants, and I cannot fit them all in the windowsill. That's why I decided to put this big shelf in this room, and of course I need growing light. As you see, on top shelf I have Hoyas. All of my Hoyas are big Hoyas are on top shelf, and they didn't feel stress when I brought them into the house. They were growing outside during the summer time, and when the days started getting cold, I took them all inside. Last year I lost most of my Hoyas. I didn't lose the whole plant, but I lost the half of the plant. The half which was looking towards the window, which was getting light from outside, they survived, they didn't die. But the rest part, which was looking towards the room, they died. I lost half of my Hoyas. They were blooming Hoyas, and they were pretty and good. Thanks God I was able to grow them back during the summertime. I took them out and they grew successfully. As you see, they're doing great, and they bloomed for me in the house when I took them here. Even the peduncle, you can see over there was you know, the old flowers. Here camera, I think our cameraman cannot see that. okay, these Hoyas are all blooming, and they didn't feel shocked when I took them in the house, because I have this year this growing light. And this in the second shelf I have different flowers. I have mostly here orchids, my Phalaenopsis orchids, and my other orchids here. And I have here this plant. This is I asked you in my comments. At that time I didn't know its name, then I found Peperomia. This is Peperomia variegata. Thank you all. You thought that this plant is Hoya, but it's not Hoya. It looked like Hoya, it looked like Hoya carnosa, but it's not. It has soft leaves, but it's thick. But it's not waxy like Hoya leaves. And here I have my Phalaenopsis orchid. This orchid is doing great. These flowers are short flowers this year. This orchid never stops blooming. From the primary spike, it bloomed for me 3 times. This is primary spike, and it grew secondary spike. As you see, the spike, and it bloomed for me. When it finished blooming from the secondary spike, it started growing again, the new spike, and from this this is third spike. And see, it's blooming great, and it has lots of flowers, like as if it's blooming from the primary spike. I cannot complain about that. And in this shelf, on this shelf, I have small plants, orchids and Hoyas, which I propagated, and different flowers. Let me show you my new orchids. Here I have Phalaenopsis orchids. As you see, I purchased them from Lowe's, and I love them very much. Here, especially if I will show you the back of this orchid, the back side. From the back side, it's so pretty. It's amazing. Look at this. It's pretty orchid. Let me move it here, and here you can see better, I think. No, okay, here. Look at this. The back side, the back of the flowers are beautiful. I don't know how to explain you with words, but I feel it, that it's pretty. See, from the front it's different, and from the back it's different. I love this orchid. My husband bought it for me. And here I have let me move this, and this look at this, pay attention for this. This card is standing here, and this card never see the daylight. It's getting all its light from my growing light, and this growing light, which is on my shelves, it's giving the other plants which is surrounding, it gives light to them too. Here I have aloes. My aloe vera plant was dying outside, and I you know, my daughter, she hid it under the shrubs, and I forgot about this plant, and it was dying, and I took all its babies and planted in these pots. I have too many aloe vera plants, and here I have lavender, Mona lavender. Here I have lavender, and it's constantly blooming for me. See, it's pretty flower. And here I have cyclamens, and they are doing great. These flowers, I love them very much. They are my favorite. And here I have begonia. This begonia, it's very pretty. Look at this. And this plant I found in the store. It was frozen in the beginning of this year. I was in one store, and it was outside, chilly, and this plant was dying, and the branches, small branches, were laying on the floor, and I took them, I brought them home, and I saved its life. And see, now it's growing crazy, and it's blooming for me. It's making my eyes happy. And here I have kalanchoe. It's blooming. I will talk about this kalanchoe later. Look at this. And the one thing I want to show you, here I have hibiscus. This hibiscus I propagated last summer, and it never bloomed for me. Look at this, it's huge plant, it's giant, and I never saw its flowers. And look at this, when I took it inside the house, it started blooming for me. Yesterday it bloomed. Usually my hibiscus flowers stay one day, but this is staying second day. Today is second day, and look at this. It's not white. This camera showing you. It's pearl color. It's between yellow, pink, and white. It's amazing. Look at this. I love this hibiscus, and I have different hibiscus plants on the window sill. And this, they bloomed yesterday. This one, see, it's yellow, and it's very pretty. And this one is pink. Look at this, how beautiful it is. And here I have red one, and I have from this peach color too. This one blooms for me peach and red. Here I mixed, see, it's and here I have 4 hibiscus plants in this pot, and sometimes it blooms red, sometimes it blooms peach color. I made video about this hibiscus, and see, I have different plants. Here I have my Vanda orchids, and there my favorite Hindu rope Hoya. This one rescued Hoya. I bought it from Home Depot, and it's doing great now. It was sick, now it's healthy. And I have here on top shelf other Hindu rope Hoya too here, and it's giant now. It's very long plant and it blooms constantly during the summertime. And let's come back to the topic. This year I started using a humidifier. This is from Titronics, and I love this one because it pushes the air up. It doesn't go down. We bought other humidifier, but I didn't like it and my husband returned it. But this one is going up. As you see, the humid is going up. It doesn't go like fountain down. It's not like that, and I like this one, and we bought 3 of them. Why I started using this, you can ask, because you know, in the last year I had problem with spider mites, and I want to keep a little bit moist, humid in the house. That's why I bought 3 of them. I put in different rooms. If you're interested in this, let me know. Most of you probably know about this. And see here, I forgot to talk about my orchids. These are my mini orchids. As you see, they're not any more mini orchids. See, they're giant now. They are those orchids which I showed you in my previous videos. They are equal size with normal orchids. So these are normal size orchids, and see, they are same size. You cannot differentiate. If I ask you which one is mini orchid, which one is big orchid, you can never tell me the difference. They are same size now. My mini orchids are even bigger than the normal size orchids, and I don't know why they're growing so big. Maybe I am giving them good life, or I planted them in a big pot. I don't think that I planted them in big pot. They're still in the cups. I will show you. Let me take one of them. See, they're still in these cups, in clear cups, and they are growing crazy. They are big and they have lost lots of roots, and they all started growing new spikes. As you see, this is new spike, and they all have new spikes now. I'm ready to see the blooms again this year. This is second time they are growing spikes for me. And my dendrobium orchids are here. As you see, they're getting natural light from sun, and they at the same time they're getting this light from my growing light. They get light from both sides. If I have more space, I would never put this growing light, because the natural light is the best. But if you don't have any choice, if you don't have enough space for your plants, you don't have choice, and you put this, you use this growing light. That's why I started using this year growing light, because I lost most of my plants last year. I have so many plants and they are not fitting on the floor, and that's why I had to put them on the shelves, and they are not getting enough light from through the window. That's why I started using growing light. Otherwise, if you have only 1, 2, 3, 4 plants, if you have windowsill, you don't need to use growing light. Don't think that the growing light, using growing light, gives you successful growing. It's not like that. They can grow from the natural light better than under the growing light. I have other orchids which I showed you in my previous videos. Last year they were blooming, and they don't get any growing light. They are growing under the natural light. I will show you that room where I keep those orchids. Now I showed you only one plant room. This is only one, and I think it's 1/5 of my plants. Here I have a lot, and this is one room where I keep my daughter's room, and I keep all my, not all, some of my orchids in this room. As you see, I don't have any growing light. I can show you the ceiling. I don't have any light here. They grow, they get light from the natural light through the window, and this is north side window. That one which I showed you before, it's south facing window. This is north facing window, and they are doing great. They all bloomed for me at the beginning of this year. They had with flowers. They were with flowers. This one I showed you. This is white one. I showed you in my previous videos, and it grew secondary spikes from the primary spike, as you see, and it bloomed me so many flowers. It gave me so many flowers. It was better than the flowers from the primary spike. From the secondary spikes, you can see lots of flowers too. It's not true that they bloom better from the first primary spike. They can bloom from the secondary spike or third spike. They can bloom better than the first spike. That's why I don't cut flower spikes. If they don't bloom next year, I can cut these spikes, but if they bloom, I leave them. And for example, this spike I didn't cut. I'm waiting for it, if it can bloom for me again from these spikes. If it doesn't bloom like this one, I can cut it. But this one, it bloomed for me, but some of them, they didn't bloom from the primary spike. They didn't grow secondary spikes. That's why I cut them all. And here, as you see, in this room, this is very cold room. I don't know how many. I don't have even I don't measure the temperature here. My daughter doesn't sleep in this room during the winter because it's cold room, and my orchids, they love this temperature. I have to measure someday and let you know. But orchids love to be in this room, and see it even in this cold room. And it's not very light room. It's getting light from north facing window, and they are doing great. They're growing their spikes, they're growing their new roots, they are growing, see, lots of roots. These are new roots, see, and they are growing roots with growing tips, healthy roots, lots of them. And they grow new leaves constantly. They never stop growing new leaves. See, all of them, they have new leaves and new roots, healthy roots here. See? And I cannot complain that I'm not using growing light on them. And here I have rescued these anthurium flowers. I love them all. See, I rescued these flowers and they are doing great now. Some of the leaves are dry and I have to remove them. See, they are doing great. My plants are doing great. Natural light is stronger. Even your plants get from the north side, but the natural light is strong. See, you can see from my plants. Here I don't have any humidifier, any measurements, and any growing light in this room. This is just my daughter's room, and I have my other orchids and other plants in different rooms too. This room you all know. I make my videos in this room. Here I put a shelf and growing light. I told you already that when I found these orchids from trash, I didn't have place to put them, and my son built this shelf for me, and he put growing light here. As you see, my orchids are doing great. If I had enough space under the window, I would put them there, but I don't have space, and even they don't get any daylight, they are doing great. And as you see, all of them are blooming, and most of them white, this color, see, but it's beautiful white color. It has some yellow lip, yellow on its lip, and inside it has 3 lines, pink lines. See, it's beautiful orchid, and I have lots of them. White orchids I have a lot, and in this shelf too. Here you see, most of them are white, and they are different orchids I found from trash, different, and this one is my favorite. Let me show you this one. I don't know, I love it so much. It's tiny, but it's not mini orchid, but the flower is tiny. See, it's small, and it never stop blooming. So look at this. This is long spike. Last time when I treated them with neem oil and dish soap, I sprayed dish soap on the flowers too, but the dish soap and you know, the neem oil, it burns the flowers, and my flowers fall from this spike, and now it started growing again. It's continuing growing the buds, and it's blooming. Look at this. And here this one is blooming from the secondary spike. Look at this. It's huge and lots of flowers. It's from secondary spike. And I'm sorry that I'm taking your time. I need to talk about my growing light, and I'm showing you all my plants because most of the time I don't have time to make video. That's why I wanna share my happiness with you. That's why I'm showing you my orchids. And look at that one, the orange one. It's orange with pink or purple stripes. See, and the lip is red. It's pretty orchid. Even these orchids are getting light from the window and from my growing lights. From this growing lights I cannot complain. I like them. See, the flowers are staying close to this light, and they never get burned from this light. And from this light, the flowers grow, roots grow crazy, but it doesn't burn the flowers and leaves. It never burns them. That's why I cannot complain about this growing light. It's not expensive and not very much cheap. You can offer. This is my other plant room, and in here I keep my lemon trees, which I grow from seeds. Look at them, they're huge, giant lemons. They're touching the ceiling now. See, and my son, he made this growing light for me. He ordered it online, and it's self-made growing light. He bought parts and he put them together, and on this growing light my lemon trees are doing great. Usually I didn't use growing light in this room, and my lemon trees, when I took them inside the house from the stress, they used to fall their leaves, but this year it didn't happen because I have growing light here, and even this room is not enough light, bright. I mean, my plants are doing great. Why I'm telling that it's not enough bright, because this shelf is blocking the light, and you see this my self-made growing light, and here these lemons, even they are getting from this light. Here I keep my African violets on these shelves and I'm propagating them. Even they are not fitting on these shelves, and some of them I put on the floor with their greenhouses. And that's it. I will show you which light we put on these shelves. I will show you the box, and you can buy these lights. It's not expensive something. And what I like from these lights, even the flowers or leaves touch these lamps, they don't burn. It's safe. That's why I like this lights. I like these lights, and I think you can afford to buy, everybody can afford to buy these lights. It's not expensive something, and it's not very cheap, maybe $10–11. Two of them. I mean, in one box you can find two. They sell couple in one box, and it's good price. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions about my growing lights or about my flowers, let me know. I will try to answer your questions. I'm very busy lady, that's why forgive me if I am not answering your questions. I'm trying to answer. Sometimes I get busy, that's why. But I'm slowly answering your questions. Thank you for watching. Bye. See you next time.